Hello everyone, I am Himanshi from DNA Education, and today we will discuss about the next topic of life processes, that is excretion. As we know that our body is undergoing several life processes like digestion, respiration, circulation, etc. During all these processes, several wastes are generated in the body. These wastes are usually dissolved in the blood, and it is very important to remove all these wastes, otherwise it will become toxic for our body. For this purpose, our body has an excretory system. So let us study about the excretory system in humans, which helps in the purification of blood. The human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys which are bean shaped. As you can see that the left kidney is slightly raised than the right kidney. These kidneys receive blood from renal vein. The blood, when enters into the kidneys, is filtered through the kidneys, and then the filtrate, which is the toxic substances, nitrogenous wastes, urea, etc., dissolved in water, they passes into the ureter. As you can see, there is a pair of ureter in the human excretory system, each ureter connected to a kidney. These ureters then join into the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a muscular organ which stores and collects urine. The opening of the urinary bladder is through a tube called urethra. Urethra consists of two sphincters. The inner sphincter is the involuntary sphincter, while the outermost sphincter is the voluntary sphincter. The act of passing urine out of the body through urethra is called micturition. So this is all about the excretory system in humans. But the basic question is that how do kidneys filter the blood and form urine? For this, we can study the structure of nephron. Nephron is called the basic structural and functional unit of a kidney. Each kidney contains millions of nephrons, and it is these nephrons inside the kidneys that filter the blood. So let us study about the structure of nephrons in detail. A nephron consists of an afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Arteriole is basically a subdivision of an artery or a thinner artery. So afferent arteriole brings blood into the glomerulus of the nephron. Glomerulus is the capillary network of arteries in the nephron. The blood gets filtered through the glomerulus and it passes into the Bowman's capsule, and the remaining blood, the pure blood, is sent through efferent arteriole to the next part. Now the filtered blood or the components, they passes through this tubular part of the nephron, which is called proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT. Here, the reabsorption of various useful substances such as glucose, amino acids, some important salts and excess water takes place. After PCT, the filtrate passes through this vertical loop, and this loop is called loop of Henle. And afterward it passes through this tubular part called distal convoluted tubule. In all these tubular parts of the nephron, the reabsorption of useful substances from the filtrate takes place, which includes excess water, glucose, amino acids and important salts. Now, there is a function of the kidney that whenever there is excess of water in the human body, the kidneys allow more and more water into the urine by decreasing the reabsorption of water in this part. And when there is a deficiency of water in the body, the kidneys increases the reabsorption of water through the tubular parts. Now, the concentrated filtrate containing waste substances like urea and other nitrogenous substances passing into a collecting duct. Several ducts join into a collecting duct and they drain the urine formed into the ureters. So in this way, basically a nephron filters the blood to form urine. For more details about the formation of the urine complete process, you can refer to our book DNA Education Key Points Science Class 10th. Now this is about the excretory system in humans, but sometimes a person's kidneys may fail to work. It may include failure of one kidney or even both the kidneys. Such patients need to go to the doctors and hospitals for an artificial kidney or for the process of dialysis. Now let's see what happens during dialysis. This is a basic diagram depicting the structure of a dialysing machine. During dialysis, the patient's blood is taken from an artery and this blood is transported to the semi-permeable membrane. This semi-permeable membrane is required so that substances can be transported out from the blood. These substances are the waste substances which are required to be removed from the blood. The complete membrane is dipped in a dialysing solution contained in a vessel. This dialysing solution has an exact composition as the blood except for blood cells and the waste materials. So basically this is primarily the plasma part of the blood. Now when the waste rich blood passes through the semi-permeable membrane, by the process of diffusion, the waste materials present in the blood like urea and other nitrogenous compounds, they diffuses from the blood into the dialysing solution through the semi-permeable membrane. As we know that during diffusion, compounds or substances move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Since the concentration of waste from the patient's blood is very high as compared to that in the dialysing solution, the waste materials diffuse out of the patient's blood all through the traveling of the semi-permeable membrane. Meanwhile, the used dialysing solution is removed continuously from one end and fresh dialysing solution is added to the vessel from the other end. Now, the purified blood is drained back into the vein of the patient. From the vein, the blood goes into the heart and this purified blood can then be pumped by the heart to various organs, and in this way, the blood gets purified and is transported to all the body parts. In this way, we complete the excretory structure and system of humans. However, plants also show some excretion process. These are some key points depicting the excretion in plants. The complete process of excretion in plants is described in our book DNA Education Key Points Science Class 10. Please refer to the book for the detailed process. However, here we can see a few points like removal of oxygen and carbon dioxide. As we have seen that plants have stomata through which they can release oxygen or carbon dioxide gas that they don't need. Similarly, plants release some substances like gums and resins. These are also waste products of plants, but they are useful for mankind and we can exploit the plants for the gums and resins. Similarly, plants can store some waste materials in their old leaves. When these leaves fall off, it simply leads to the excretion of the waste in plants. Transpiration is one more process which can be counted as an excretion in plants, because during transpirations plants excrete out excess water that they absorb from the roots, and hence transpiration is also a way of excretion in plants. This is all about today's session and this completes our topic of life processes. For more details, you can log into www.dnaeducation.com. Thank you.